Are you tired of being told how to be a man by a society that doesn't understand what it truly means? Let's face it, if you follow modern advice, you'll end up weak, feminized, and lost. It's time to break free from these shackles and reclaim your strength. This video will reveal the brutal truths and essential steps to transform from a boy into a man in a world that's set against you. Boy, allow me to educate you. Every young man must answer one question at some point in his life. Am I truly a man? Here is the dark reality. If you listen to society on how to become a man, you will end up becoming feminine and weak with low testosterone. There is a reason why our ancestors had much more testosterone than the current generation. Their bones were much stronger too. Listen, it has always been hard to transition from a boy into a man, but it has now become harder than ever before, especially if you didn't have a strong father figure to guide you. In the modern world, a guy will be misguided and deceived. You will find terms like toxic masculinity used to shame men for their natural traits. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. It is made up to weaken and control society, but this video is not about that. We will go over 5 things that turn a boy into a man. Know how to suffer. A man must know how to suffer in silence. Every man experiences different forms of pain, mentally, physically, and often the pain of others who depend on him. The reality is that a man doesn't have someone else to fall back on. There is no crying and expecting people to care or feel sorry for you. If you are a man, that luxury is reserved for women and children only. The modern world will tell men it's good to cry. The opposite is true. Other men lose respect for a man who breaks down crying, and women will lose attraction for him. I am not saying you can never cry. We are all human, and there are moments where it is okay to do so. But if the pressure becomes overwhelming, crying won't solve anything. It will only signal to others that you are not capable of handling your problems. Instead, as a man, you must learn how to suffer and endure. Know how to deal with insane pressure. A boy can be selfish and drop all responsibilities when the pressure becomes too much. A man must remain resilient and face difficulties head-on, instead of falling into despair or using unhealthy coping strategies. If there ever comes a moment where you do cry, make sure it is in private or in the company of very close brothers who you can trust. You might think this is toxic, but it is the reality of life as a man. And it's a good thing. Diamonds are forged under intense pressure. It is that pressure and suffering that creates strong men that others can count on. With great violence, the world can be a dark place, and there are people who will do evil things you can't even imagine. That is why every man needs to have the capability to be dangerous, both for his own sake and for his loved ones. Every man has a duty to protect himself and his loved ones, and you cannot be peaceful unless you are capable of great violence. If you are not capable of violence, you are not peaceful but harmless, meaning that people can do whatever they want to you and everyone you care about. Here is the truth. Every guy knows they lack something if they can't fight. It is something we intrinsically feel inside, because it takes a lot of hard work and effort to become dangerous. You will find many guys pretend they are too ethical to be dangerous. They will say things like, "I'm against violence, so I would never get into a fight." This coward is disguised behind morality. The coward is more pro-violence than the warrior, because the coward will never attempt to stop violence if it comes his way. If you are truly against violence, you understand how important it is to be strong and dangerous. Remember, a warrior prays for peace but prepares for war. Take risks. No one ever gained anything just by sitting still and not doing anything. Take risks and create the life you want. Life is all about taking risks, understanding and learning where your boundaries lie, and creating the life you want. Once you start and begin achieving some success, the ensuing changes cause a ripple effect that shifts how boys relate to themselves. They start to see that it is within their own personal power to create the life they want, which is powerful. Stop living someone else's life. Stop thinking you need to do something just for the sake of doing it. Discover the creative potential within you and take the necessary risks to manifest it. Even if it's hard, take ownership. Men must own everything in their world. No matter what happens in your life, there is always some aspect of it that you can take ownership of. It's intimidating to assume full responsibility for anything, let alone your life. We're conditioned to shift blame and make excuses when things don't go as planned. Most guys will shift the blame for a failure, which is why they can't learn or grow from it. Taking complete ownership comes with a weight that most aren't willing to carry. But you must bear that weight to become a man. Time is our most valuable asset, and none of us know how much of it we have left. Living an inauthentic life, blaming others and circumstances for our dissatisfaction, is the biggest waste of time in life. Understand this if you want to take ownership. Stop blaming others and circumstances. Understand what is within your control. Be accountable for everything within your control. Don't talk about problems without focusing on solutions. When you understand and apply this, you stop making excuses and control your own path in life. Do you realize how powerful this is? Testosterone is the basic hormone that most influences your dominance and masculinity. Any male with very low testosterone is just a shell of the man he could be. Look at any house cat and see how they change when their reproductive capabilities are removed. You will notice the cat gains weight, becomes lazy, and loses its drive completely. We live in a world full of habits that lower your testosterone daily. If you've watched this video to the end and want to know the best ways to naturally increase your testosterone, leave a comment below. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to hit